Happy rainy Thursday to you. Rainy if you're here in Paradise, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. If you are somewhere else watching this, it might be very sunny. So I'd rather be where you are if that's where the case. But happy rainy Thursday here in Paris, Pennsylvania. My name is Adam. I am the executive director here at the Factory Ministries. We hop on each week to kind of give an update, spend some time laughing or trying to laugh at a dad joke or two or three or four or five, or I think I got 7 or 8 ready today. Here we go. And then just share some words of encouragement is the heart and what our goal is here on our live. Couple things, just kind of housekeeping stuff. Just let's kind of, I don't know, let's talk about how are you? I'll share how I am. The Dolphins, let's start with the Dolphins. We talked about this last week. I've had a lot of people saying, Adam, I'm really sorry. I'm like, I'm not. They, if you aren't familiar, the Dolphins, I've been a Dolphins fan for a very, very long time, since I've been a boy, watching Dan Marino go to the Super Bowl his rookie year, thinking they were going to be back a lot, and they haven't been. Anyway, they got to the playoffs, and super excited about that. First time since 2016. They haven't won a playoff game since 2000, so I'm thinking this could be the year. But then their starting quarterback was out, their running back was out, and the line on the game was at 12.5 points. So I'm like, it's done. I don't even want to watch this game. So when people say I'm really sorry, I'm like, I'm not at all. They competed. They almost won the game even. I mean, almost. So close. So anyway, so next year is another year. I've been saying that for a lot of years. I think I actually have some true hope for this year when I say it. Past years, I just say it and move on. Other thing, I am, how are you? Did your football team win this weekend? Maybe you're not even a football fan, so I don't know. How are you doing today? What are you doing in this rainy day? I got up this early this morning, took my wife to the airport down in the BWI airport down in Baltimore, Washington. We left the house at 3 something. I was out of bed at 2:30. So anyway, so I am super excited for her. She's headed out for something that's a weekend that, really, really excited for her and the weekend that she's about to have and what she's going to be doing out in Utah, Moab, Utah, of all places. So my kids and I'm going to be Mr. Mom for the next couple of days and super excited about that. Spend time with my kiddos. And anyway, so here we go. Some stuff to talk about. Let's start with dad jokes. I'll start with the one that someone gave me yesterday. This one got me. This one really, really got me. So if you're watching and you're the person who did this, say hi. I won't. She came up to me and said in a very, very serious tone, looks at me and says, Adam, did you hear about the kidnapping? And I just sat back like, oh no. Oh no. Like, what? Like, I'm thinking someone got kidnapped here in our area. I'm like, kidnapping. She goes, he's okay. He woke up. I was like, they got me. There you go. I love it. So I thought, you know what? I am going to share that on live. I said to her, can I share it? I got to share that tomorrow. So there it is. I am sharing it here with you. So tried it with my kids last night. They knew a dad joke was coming. So I really tried. I said, oh my word, guys, did you hear? And I went through the whole thing and they looked at me. Before I even got the punchline out, they said, Dad, it's a dad joke. And my one son actually said he woke up. So apparently he knew the joke. So anyway, here we go. Did you know French fries weren't first cooked in France? They were cooked in Greece. So why don't we call them grease fries, right? That's come on now. So anyway, French fries were cooked in Greece, not France. I had a friend tell me the other day, they said, man, people are really shocked when they find out I'm not a very good electrician. Get it? Not a good electrician, so it's okay. Next one for you. Here we go. Next one. What do you call? Hi, Ann. It is so good to see you, Ann. Ann, this one's for you, Ann. What do you call an underwater dog? Ann is. I love it when people here in the community share their jokes with me. Ann is one that does that. Ann regularly blesses me. Every night I get a text from Ann that says, has a good dad joke. So, Ann, what do you call an underwater dog? You know what you call an underwater dog? You call an underwater dog a subwoofer. Okay, next one, then we'll talk about what's happening and share some words of encouragement. A friend the other day said, I got in a fight. I'm like, well, first of all, I'm like, that's not cool. I'm really sorry. I got in a fight with 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. It's like 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. Were that their names? He goes, yeah. The odds were against me. Okay, on that note, here we go. Let me pull my notes out of here, make sure I don't digress any further down those roads. Here's some things that are going on. Let me start with Food Friday. Food Friday is coming up. We call it the fourth Food Friday. That happens January 27th. So next week, this gives you 1 week yet. This is a fun way. People love doing it. It's a fun way to get involved here at the factory with what's happening and what's going on. You can share this post. You'll find it on both Instagram and Facebook. If you're watching on YouTube, you can head over to either of those platforms and find it. So Instagram and Facebook, you can share this post. You could copy and email it to friends. You can grab your Ann just said she almost didn't hear the punchline to the subwoofer because her dog was barking. Anyway, so you can head on, you can share that post, you can pull your friends and family and coworkers, you could print it and take it into the office and encourage your office to get involved, your classroom, or to church this weekend, or whatever else you have going on in your life. A great way to get involved here at the factory. And you yourself could bring food along in next Friday. So the things that we're looking for next Friday are cereal, laundry detergent, paper towels, macaroni and cheese, tuna, and sugar or. So anyway, so that's the fourth Food Friday. That's coming up. Bingo is also next week. So that's the other thing. Maybe you bingo's happening next week, the 26th, right here in our space. Super, super excited about that. Today, no need to wait till next week. Today is the front porch. This was, for those of you who've been involved with the front porch, this is a place to come. It's hosted by Grace Point. It's not a program. It's a factory program hosted by Grace Point. It is a place for you to explore and talk about matters of faith. And there's really no agenda to come, and kind of some questions open up the conversation and talk, and you get to share and interact in a group context around matters of faith. So last week was our first time shifting to a daytime versus an evening meeting, and it was a significant turnout, higher even than the evenings. So it is happening again today here at the factory at 12:30. So that's the front porch taking place. Blast happened last night, so we want to again continue to encourage you if you have kiddos. That's also a Grace Point thing that happens here on Wednesday nights from 6:30 to 8 o'clock every Wednesday. So the other thing I want to encourage you to do is, if you're get on our community board or join the community board community group. And again, there's a lot of other information there and things that you can engage with and involve with and programming here in the factory. A broad community-wide thing, I want to just share this. This is super exciting. Big Shots is right around the corner. March 10th. We are right now in the process of recruiting shooters. Last year, this is super exciting. Last year, the shooters that did peer-to-peer raised on average $917 a shooter. So super exciting. This is a way to make a big impact. And you're just like, you may say, well, I don't make a lot of money. I don't have a lot of money. I'm able to give a lot of money, but I'd love to support the factory. This is a fun way to do it, where you don't need money. You just need friends or classmates or people that you go to church with. All you're doing is saying, hey, I'm going to come out and shoot free throws. I'm going to take 100 shots. And for every shot that I make, you're looking for people to sponsor money. So $1 a shot, 50 cents a shot. And again, you build up 10, 15, 20 people sponsoring you at that level, and you'll hit 1,000. Or we had some shooters last year blow way past that number. And just so fun event, exciting event. This year, it's getting even bigger. We're actually adding a third hoop this year. There's prizes and awards, and community comes together, and there's food. And so super, super fun. But that happens on March the 10th, March the 10th. Super exciting thing about March 10th, March 9th is my wife's birthday. That just hit me just now. I'm like, that's fun. And then our anniversary lands on the 13th. So the 10th, it's just time to party. There we go. So come on out, Big Shots. That is coming around the corner. Okay, that is what I got for announcements, what's happening. Love to share some words of encouragement with you. And what I want to do is actually pull out something that challenged me recently that I thought about in a way that something I'm not always comfortable with. I'll be honest with you. I want to share something I'm not always comfortable with. I'm not even sure I would say, and I was a pastor for a senior pastor for 9 years, and this is still a subject that I'm still get like, but it's the subject of Satan. I was reading a verse in 1 Thessalonians, and actually just read this morning of all things. And the Apostle Paul is writing about the group of people. So if you're not familiar with the scriptures, when you see the like Philippians, Ephesians, Thessalonians, they're actually letters that a guy named Paul wrote to a group of people living in the area of this instance, Thessalonica. So it's called the Thessalonians. Same as if you'd write a letter to America, the letter would be titled in our Bible, Americans, I guess is how it would be worded. I don't know. I never thought about that, but there you go. So he writes this letter, and he's writing to him, and he talks about this really heartwarming section of, he says, "You are my pride and joy, and I'm going to stand before God one day, and like you are my crown and my," like he's saying, "I've invested in you, I've cared for you, I've built this relationship with you, and since I've been with you, I've been trying to come back." So picture a long distance relationship. Maybe you've been in one. My wife and I, we dated. When we first dated, we were long distance for almost all of our engagement, and a good chunk of even our dating years was long distance. I was thinking that long distance and how much you yearn to be with that person you care about. And that's Paul writing. He's like, I want to be with you, and I care about you, and you're my pride and joy. And so he's writing that. And then he says this in verse 16. He says, the reason he didn't come, he names he says, let me find it for you. I had it right here for you. Hold on. Let me find it. Let me grab it. Verse. Okay. Dear brothers and sisters, after we separated from you for a little while, though our hearts never left you, we tried very hard to come back because of our intense longing to see you again. We wanted very much to come to you, and I, Paul, tried again and again, but Satan prevented us. When I read that this morning, I was like, wow. It made me think of another verse where Paul writes, it says, our battle is not against flesh and blood. What it really just hit me was talking with a participant here the other day, just as they were pouring out the loss in their life. They lost a loved one recently. That loved one was helping support them financially. They're now in a very, very difficult spot, just trying to make rent. They're have an eviction notice, basically, or a landlord eviction, but the landlord's like, hey, notice we need you out. They talked about their struggle for employment and a car, and just my heart was breaking as I'm hearing the stories, trauma and abuse, even in the story. And I am just like, man, my heart is breaking. And so we think about that. You think about maybe a broken relationship you're in, a broken marriage. You think about a job you're struggling in. You think about, and so often when we look at this, we look at the person we're looking at. We look at the problem we're facing. We look at the car that's breaking down, and we see the here and the now, and we go to work on the here and the now. And when I read the scriptures, there's this reality that shows up over and over again, that there is more to life than what we can see, know, and interact with. There's this realm of life, the spirit dimension, that has deep impact on our physical realities. And it's something that I don't think we spend a lot of time talking about. The churches, at least the churches I spent time in, have grown up in, have pastored in, you just don't get into that much. They'll quote it and talk about it and mention it, but it encouraged me today just to stop and say, wow, there is so much about my life that I'm not even in control of. And in some ways that's freeing, because it kind of takes the pressure off. It allows me to trust, I think, to just step back and say, okay, God, you're in control. There's stuff here I don't even understand. It brought me back what I did this morning after reading that. I just literally, I got down on my knees, kind of in a posture of submission, and just said, God, you are in control of my life. I trust you, and I want to follow you. There's a lot about my life I don't see and understand. And I prayed about some of the realities that I'm struggling with. And I said, God, there's a battle happening here that I probably don't even know about. And God, would you please be present in that and fight that battle for me? So anyway, that's just a thought that's fresh in my mind that hit me this morning, even as I was thinking about it. So I'm not sure where you're at, what you're facing, what you're dealing with, what's pressing in on you. And saying, keep fighting. There's a lot, again, when I read this, it's clear Paul was working really, really hard to do what he could do to get there. However, he also understood it was outside of his control. So keep working hard, but keep trusting God. And as the results come, I think there's a sense of peace then, like, okay. Anyway, hope that encouraged you to some capacity. I'm still kicking around myself. Wrote some notes in my journal today, even some personal things, just as I thought about that. I thought, you know what, I think that I'll just share that with you today, and hopefully that blesses you or encourages you at some capacity. Also, I want to encourage you to continue to lean into your Creator that sees the unseen and understands you intimately and everything that you're facing and all that's against you and all that's for you and all that's inside of you and all that's taking place. He sees you, he knows you, and he is in control of life. So lean in, I'd say, and get to know him. Okay, a lot of things I can talk about. I am almost at my 20-minute mark as we try and keep these lives too. So short and sweet, and just going to go update. Let's end with hopefully end with at least, I don't know, 3 smiles. How about 3 smiles? We're going to go 3 more jokes. Are you ready? Here we go. Are you ready? I don't know if you're still with us. Hopefully your dog is not barking so you can catch the punchlines and and pass them on to your friends. Here we go. I learned actually Oxford, as I mentioned, friends. I saw this the other day. Oxford, the University of England. Anna's waving. There you go. Oxford has done research. They've discovered that those with large groups of friends have more release of endorphins, which is kind of your natural painkillers in your body, and very significant. So they've been doing some research on why is that? Is it correlation, causation? Looking at all that, trying to figure some of that out. But again, hopefully you have some friends. Actually, what they've discovered, the more friends you have, the higher. Here's how they begin to serve. The higher your threshold of pain is. Very, very fascinating because you have more endorphins really being released in your system. Anyway, I digress. Google it. I'm sure you can find it. Oxford, friends, pain threshold, endorphins, something along that lines, and you will probably find their research and stuff there. Okay, so here we go. Why price of eggs is just insane right now, right? So why did the chicken go to the gym? Why did the chicken go to the gym? To work out his pecs. Chickens do a lot of pecking, and he wanted to work it out. Anyway, I had a friend say to me the other day, he said, hey, my dad used to say to me all the time, when one door closes, another door will open. He said to me, you know what? My dad was a brilliant philosopher, but a terrible cabinet maker. Couldn't make cabinets at all. One door was opening, the other was closing. One's closing, the other's opening. Wonderful philosophy, terrible cabinets. Okay, and the final one. Since this actually works out well. Since I talked about the Oxford endorphin releasing, the more friends you have, the higher your pain threshold. Here we go. The final one. What do you call a boat full of buddies? Now, I gave you a little hint there as I mentioned the Oxford friends thing. So what do you call a boat full of buddies? You know what you call a boat full of buddies? A friendship. I hope you have friends. I hope you enjoy your friends. Have a great weekend. Enjoy playoff football. If you're a football fan, more playoffs this weekend. If there's anything we can do for you, anything at all, please reach out. Let us know. We would phone call, stop in. We would love to journey with you. If you're a person that's like in the community and say, how do I get involved? What can I do? Donate, volunteer, whatever it might be. Would also love stop in. I'd love to chat with you, send an email, connect with us, and we'd love to journey with you as well. So thanks so much. Appreciate you. Love you. I'm off to lunch. Hope you enjoy your lunch, and I will see you, if not before, I will see you next